friends. My name is host Derek. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I'm here at my new home, which is my old home, and my first official night by myself here, away from Kimberly's house. Spacey and Tori are back at Kimberly's house, and I'm confident that things are peaceable there, and we're working towards reconciliation between all parties. My position on everything has always been, let's be reasonable, let's be peaceful, let's be kind, let's be good to each other, let's not be ridiculous, and let's demonstrate what it looks like to break up properly. So anyway, regardless of all that, I was prompted in this thinking today about how intuitives talk by the reality that, hi, Freddie Chandra, you said boo because I came in here instead of into the raw room. Well, I was struck by, I need to do this. I like this. I like getting all these things on the chat and responding to them, and I need to get shit off of my chest more publicly, I guess, or something. Although I find myself drawn to the raw room because I need a little company or something, or I'm single again, so I don't have this grounding that comes with having a partner, so I feel the need to seek more socializing or something. Regardless, yeah, this is how intuitives talk. Spacey and I had an interesting conversation in the car on the way back to Kimberly's house, and that conversation was fairly wide-ranging, but it talked a lot about demonstrative TE, demonstrative NI, a bunch of stuff like that. And delay off it, though. I have exams coming up. People do get addicted for certain times to the raw room. If it starts popping, especially, some periods of Spacey and Tori are at Kim's house, yes, and they're staying in the middle room. They're not staying in the basement. They're not staying in the garage or anything like that. I have managed to successfully, hopefully, reconcile things as best I could. So I'm trying to make progress with all parties, and to, like I said, demonstrate how a breakup ought to be managed, and how it is when all parties are kind and working towards mutually beneficial outcomes, and not trying to extract pounds of flesh from people, right? So, and it's not just, I'm feeling pretty successfully, wise or something, or insightful, or able to mediate well, because I also was just pleasantly shocked, I guess, that with the way the conversation with Tori's parents went, it was just, what? Oh yeah, if you guys aren't aware of it, it says at the bottom of every one of the videos. The Talking with Famous People has a raw room. It actually has two raw rooms. It's whereby.com/TWFP1 and whereby.com/TWFP2. And both those rooms, sometimes people are in there, sometimes they're not. People go meet there and chat. I went in there this evening, and the people who were in there included people who are now here: Freddie Chandran, Zaylen Black. That's it, those two. But there were other people in there, but those two are here also now. King Krishna Sarmapagu's here. How's it going, King Krishna Sarmapagu? How's your King Krishna Sarmapaguing? Types that have deliberation and intuition high in the stack have this start, restart, claim, retract thing going on with their communication style. Is that what I'm doing? I mean, you got to remember there's a context here. This somewhat determinant in how I speak it as well, which is I'm responding to live chat as it's happening. I frequently get partway through his thought and then get distracted by the next live chat and get off base and have to try to return to it. So I will try to return to it. I'm doing well. Thank you, Ken Krishna Sarma, for asking. I appreciate it. The thing about that I noted, though, of course, is that Spacey and I were both very involved in this conversation in the car. I found it very interesting. And Tori was listening to music in the back because she didn't, she wasn't that into it. You know, it's like Kimberly was never that into it. When we start nerding out with the jargon and everything, it's just tune right out. But Facey and I have this capacity of talking with each other. Like, I can just go, here's the very nub of the idea, and I'll go, yeah, I got it. I don't have to even finish saying it. Although I often do, because I need to hear myself say it so I understand it in full. Otherwise, I don't. So, look, Freddie Children. Internet addiction. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. What makes it an internet addiction? You like doing this better than you like the other things, so that's why you're here. Well, even intuitives might get bored if someone's going on and on about something they know nothing about. I mean, the fact is, Freddie Chandran, I think either you or I, if we were sitting in a car and somebody were talking about this weird thing with this jargon, we'd listen for a while, you know. We'd start to understand it a little bit. We'd ask some questions because that's what any high in a stack does. It's very comfortable with concepts and stuff. So as opposed to verb, I'd say it sure is nice here at my parents' house. You know, it's like, I don't have to get up to turn off the air conditioner. Why should I have to get up to turn off the air conditioner? You know, is it a little chilly now? All of a sudden, I could turn on the heater too. This is both a heater and an air conditioner. So anyway, the fact is, intuitives might not get it. They might be bored by it if it were a subject that's boring to intuitives. Let's say Spacey and I were going on and on about the different kind of wrenches that we should use in different situations with varying kinds of plumbing pipes. I mean, I would just be like, oh my God, I cannot believe these people have this fucking insanely boring conversation. Because it's not really about ideas. It's just sort of cataloging this existing set of things that they both are familiar with. My mind starts wandering off when people talk about mundane things. I just listen to small, important pieces that might be beneficial if I get asked a question of whether I'm listening. Like, I was always I didn't know how to interact with Candace's family, my second wife. They always talked about just stuff they were doing, basically. Like, they sit down for dinner and be like, so, how was your day, Louie? They'd be like, I went to here and I did this thing here. Oh, how was that? It was nice. What did you do after that? And then I did some things. Okay, well, how about you? Well, this is what I did. Oh, you remember Mary, right? Oh, yeah, I remember Mary. She's nice. Yeah, she's cool. Oh, how about you, Katie? Well, I did these things and I saw Don. Oh, Don. How is he? How has he been? He's been fine. Oh, good. He's nice. Yeah, he's great. We all like Don. I don't know. I don't really like Don that much. You don't like Don? Why not, Louis? Hmm, I don't know. He's just kind of, stuck up, I guess. Yeah, I guess he could be a little bit. You could interpret it that way. Remember, Louis, um, everybody's different. Okay, Mom. What the fuck? What the fuck? How are you supposed to have that conversation? What am I supposed to say? Well, I want in on this. Hey, everybody, earlier I did this. How was that? Oh, it was nice. Oh, great. You talk about different ways to fold the paper would be more interesting and productive. I know, it's just pointless fucking gossip and just pointless articulation of things done. Like, who cares what you did today? Who cares you went to the mail, the post office to mail something? Why would you say that? And then, who you saw there. Look, FB is not garbage. Gossip is fine. I could I could actually listen to some of the gossip, no problem. I'm not immune to a little juiciness. It's just that there was juiciness, juicy gossip is dessert, right? The problem with that family is there was never anything that was even edible except for dessert. And you can't just have dessert. And they only sometimes were gossiping. And a lot of times they would just say nothing as far as I could tell. Just blah, 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 blah. Hi, Christy. My last relationship was my activity. It really played out its description. We had activities in common. Mine too. That was Kim. I'm not Kim. Not Kim. Candace. Candace was my activity partner. That's ESFJ for ENTP. And in fact, that's in a lot of ways we were good match, but it's just not quite good enough. But I want to hear, Peter Dennis, why it ended with you. What quality of your activity partner were you unable to deal with, or what quality of her activity partner was she able to do it? Um, then, with whom did you have your best relationship? I mean, you could say it was Candace. It was a good relationship overall, all things considered. But I would guess the most accurate answer would be my first girlfriend, Chrisley, whom I loved, but didn't know that I loved. I didn't know what it meant. I said I love you and stuff like that, but I had no idea. And I fucked up that relationship. So, you know, I I dreamed about her for literally 20 years after. I haven't in a long time now, but literally I dreamed about her for 20 years after we broke up. I never really properly mourned her. My FI was horribly underdeveloped. And I didn't have any, it was like, I didn't have any concept of the value of what I had lost in the moment, really. It still kind of makes me despair to think about it. I wasn't a good person, I guess. Anyway, the thing that bothered me about Candace ultimately, although I didn't recognize it in these terms at the time, was that Candace, I'll tell you more about my first girlfriend in a little bit. There's more interesting things to say about her. Candace has polar and I, like my dad, and that's it's a frustrating thing to deal with. So, as far as that girlfriend goes, after I broke up with Candace, I tried to chase her down. I tried to find her. I tried to contact her. And in fact, I was able to find somebody who knew where she was, namely this girl from my peer group in high school, Camille Goss. And I contacted her and asked her to contact Chris Lee for me. Chris Lee is extremely private. Like, you can't find a picture of her hardly anywhere, and even with a Korean name and everything. But I found one where she looked to be about 40 years old or something. And I asked Camille to contact her, and she just wanted to talk to her. She wasn't interested. And I made this song, quite a good little song, freestyle song that I sent, but she never got back to me. I still want to talk to her so badly, just because it's been decades, and what type was she? I don't know. Alpha Quadra. She's Alpha Quadra. She may have been an ISFJ. I don't know. She's an introvert for sure. May have been an INTP. Anyway, still kind of haunts me. Like, I never loved anybody like I loved her after her. Like, I never got anybody as good as as worthy of being totally valued by me. And I just sort of never dealt with it emotionally or in my head or anything either. So I guess it just persisted. Regardless, the thing is, talking with Spacey about a lot of different things, just chatting in the car, we have all sorts of we produce a lot of words about cognitive functions, psychology, whatever. And a lot of it is quite illuminating to me, because instead of just sort of doing this in isolation, I'm doing it with somebody to bounce shit off of who also engages with the material intelligently. Spacey's fucking smart, I'll tell you something. That guy is bright as hell. He's got all the NTP skills are like maximal. I've never encountered anybody quite as quick with the intuiting all the meanings of what I'm about to go through. Interestingly, I can also there's one occasion I can recall where I knew he was wrong, that he had intuited the wrong thing. And I said, no, listen to me on this one. I think I was right. So basically, I intuited that he had intuited wrong about my full thing. And it's got that same quality as dealing with an INFJ, whereby there's all this subtextual conversation going on that's kind of unspoken. Thanks, this is my dad's old office. All this stuff's going to be coming down from here. I got to move into this space. Spacey and I never debate about anything. We just have conversations. If he disagrees with me and he's right, then I just go with that. If I disagree with him, I'll say, well, I don't know about those. But, the thing is, Spacey's very good at um, dismantling things into their ambiguities. And we always come back to the same thing, which is that we're both dialectical. Neither of us want to be adversarial in our conversations. So we both want to have productive discursive events rather than meow meow. Who's siding with what guy? Which am I ignoring, denying the truth? Which guy am I siding with? Captain von Poopenstein? It's Freddie Chandler, hello. Enjoying lunch? Asks Countess One. Okay, I won't quit. Yeah. Right. Look, it's fine to quit smoking cigarettes. Just don't quit meowing the meows. The guy who intuited wrong. Oh, was that me? Am I intuiting wrong again? I'm always intuiting wrong. It's like, hey, that's a turtle. That's not a turtle. What made you intuit that? Turtle-like clues, such as, I don't want to tell you. There weren't any turtle clues for there. No. Well, oh, that part. That's what you're talking about. I remember now. I forgot about that. No, he intuited wrong. Because I was going to explain here's why I intuited wrong. He failed to, and we're still working out to give each other's intuition adequate credit. So he failed to get that I had fully grasped, that he had fully grasped the previous point. Thought I was repeating the point. And said, oh no, I get it. And he's got good FI care in not being like in that kind of shit. But regardless, I said, no. I'm not saying the same point again. I'm explaining to you something specific that's linked to that I need you to understand actually that you're not intuiting. You're not going to infer this because this happens all the time. I don't know. It's like there was this thing. Here's an example of intuitive conversation. We were driving and we were talking about what was it? I forget what it was, like BSW or BTW or something. No, it wasn't BTW though. It was like BFW or BRW. And it was somebody did a typo. They meant to be BTW, by the way. So in that instance, we were talking about something happened in the live chat before and saying, here's an example of something where Spacey, I said, well, what does that mean? And then Spacey's like, oh, I think they mistyped by the way. And I said, oh, that's kind of like what we've been talking about, how there's a more taking people at their word for what they literally mean by needing to be and more nuanced understanding that people don't necessarily mean what they say or aren't using words to convey things that the words literally mean all the time, which an INTP has. But then there was conversation correcting that and saying, no, because in this instance, it's a 3-letter thing. And I am regularly encountering I still periodically encounter new, like 3-letter internet things that I don't know yet, right? Like I know, by the way, BTW, I know BRB, be right back, and lots of other ones, but more contemporary ones, like ones that the younger people are using right now, may not be familiar with yet until I see them here, basically. And so it made sense in that instance that I might question whether, why I might think that was a 3-letter code rather than just assuming it was a typo. I always considered FITE people as predominantly having layered communication. I realized with my own function biases that FETI people have something similar going on with it. What's layered communication? Well, I mean, I would say it depends what kind of. I mean, the thing is, Spacey and I, when we're communicating, are referencing the same library of shared previous conversations and points of destination intellectually that we reached prior. Okay, so like in that example I was just given, we had prior reached conclusions that talked about the ways in which if somebody says something that's not really what they mean, they use the wrong word, I'm not likely to intuit that they used the wrong word. I'm likely to say that's what they meant and try to figure out, gosh, that's weird. What did they mean by that? Assuming that they meant what they said, right? And that, in contrast, Spacey's quicker to note, they probably didn't mean to use that word. So it's something we talked about before. The thing is, there's a whole bunch of shit like that we've talked about before. And so as we're driving along, often I'll think of something that links to something we already talked before. And I'll say something like, remember that I mean, maybe I'll reference the place where we were talking about it or whatever. I'll say like, you know how we were talking about how yada yada. And then he'll go, yeah. But a lot of times it's a much bigger thing than that. So he'll go, you know that whole complex dynamic over there? And he'll go, yeah. Now, most of the time, with most people, I can't do that. I can't say, there's a thing we're both sort of familiar with. Maybe we recall this conversation exactly or not. But I get that you get this very intricate concept that involves multiple channels. So it's not just it's not a hard TI concept, but it's got FE components. It's got all these various considerations. As an any user, what we're good at actually is between possibilities, like recognizing which things are promising areas of possibility, are dead end areas of possibility for Dom's. And it's like, well, like today in the car, I realized there are too many variables here for me to think, because I need to make sure that I won't know for sure until this conversation and that conversation. So I didn't think about that anymore. At that point, I switched my thinking. Whereas somebody with bad NE gets obsessed with things they can't think out and try to think them out anyway. So, it doesn't make you super powerful and able to think out crazy, complicated things. It makes you smart enough to go, that's too hard to think about. Don't bother using expert intuition there. There's too many possibilities. It's not useful. So, do you think most intuitives, or NTPs especially, are underutilized resource in modern society? Absolutely, NTPs especially. I don't think that's true necessarily most intuitives. No, I would say NTPs and NFPs. Well, most especially INFPs. The reason is the NE types. NE types are underutilized. NE FE types are even most underutilized. So ENTP, INTP. The reason is because, I mean, there's very few ways in which the world now wants to exploit the specialness of individuals. INTPs and ENTPs are special individuals. Like INTPs are very smart, the ENTPs are very smart, and they're particularly articulate, and they sound really smart, and meowdy 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 mew. Well, INFPs are equally underutilized, okay? But let me explain here first. The thing is, the INTPs and ENTPs, because of the FE word is, well, Spacey puts it like this. He's quoting some Green Day song, I think, and saying, I feel like a social tool that he is. In other words, he needs other people to need his particular skill set and to seek him to do those things for them. And he needs those people to do it in the right way. And for the tasks that they need him to do to be the right kind of tasks. And if that were the case, then he'd be very happy and successful being an INTP. It's like I said in some other live stream, INTPs want to sit there, reveal their genius, and have somebody come and say, "Oh, you're a genius. You know what? I can use you. I'm going to I'm not a genius, but I'm really good at making money off of geniuses. So you're going to be my genius. I'm going to just turn to you to do all this thing, and I'll just turn that into money and give you most of it." Well, that's not ever going to happen. But yeah, we want to be discovered and used for somebody, used for something, being useful. Like being needed. We need you, Eric. Nobody else can do this job. That's like, okay, well, then I'm there and I'm going to fucking do it because, I mean, that's my purpose is to have the opportunity to impress everybody and have everybody be happy with me. So, of course, I'm going to be there and do it. Now, INFPs, on the other hand, without their FE, with their FI, they're less underutilized because they're more appropriately attending to themselves and their interests. INFPs are not fundamentally tools without a use. They are fundamentally tool users. They don't see themselves as there to be used by other people for anything, and they see themselves as there to embrace that which they find authentic to themselves and reject that which is inauthentic. Oh yeah. Peter, this sounds like you need a metaphysician. You're in luck. I am one. It's difficult to not have a mission per se. I wish I had, but it's somehow not possible. What do you mean it's not possible to have a mission? I'm on a mission. You can be part of my mission if you want. I don't think blame is the right way to put it, but obviously there are material and capital factors taken into account. Look, the thing is, we need to help each other. What I see in my partnership with Spacey is I'm much more effective, vastly more effective, because there's somebody to show how to do things with my demonstrative TE instead of just me being me. I mean, I think NFPs want to contribute meaningfully and care about humanity and everything. I think that they don't do it because they want to be liked. The thing is, the mission I'm on is not my mission. The mission I'm on is the mission of all of humanity, as far as I'm concerned, which is a mission to a mission of understanding, fairness, and positive moral indications like forgiveness, grace, recognizing that each of us has to seek grace from others, so we ought to provide grace to others when we can. You know, there's this reality whereby a lot of times people who are bringing spite or toxicity or anger or anything like that, they're doing it and also they feel bad about themselves. And it basically blocks out the feeling bad about themselves for a stretch, is my thought here. It's like a lot of people in the world need to understand that it's safe to feel bad about yourself for a little bit. You don't have to condemn yourself to recognize that you're a little disappointed in yourself. You know, I'm a little disappointed in myself in a number of ways all the time. And I don't worry about being too self-critical because I know I have to get increasingly mistake free. I have to make a decreasing amount of, I can't repeat things that I've done in the past that are wrong because I have to learn from those. And that means, I don't know, taking a great deal of care, I guess. Shruti Chandran, you guys are still studying English cases, right? In India, it's still common law jurisdiction. Interesting. Bum beat poetry. I'm digging the name at Sengen, so much underutilized potential IC polars. Well, it's true that there are that SE polars sort of definitionally are not doing a whole hell of a lot, right? But it's not in fact that they don't do a whole hell of a lot. It's that the things that they do are, if left to their own devices, are not considered productive things to do by other people. And they do a poor job of following through on a list of to-do things. Is it the fact that Shruti Chandran is underutilizing her potential because she's having an internet addiction? No, not at all. I mean, she's part of this conversation, and this conversation is absolutely worth having. This video is absolutely worth making. The discursive environment of the world needs to be improved dramatically. I plan to do that one way or another. I need to somehow normalize good talking. I'm trying to do. Somehow, before I die, I'm going to normalize good talking so that bad discourse has become shameful and vulgar, and people who don't feel bad about themselves engage in good discourse. Somehow I'm going to do this. Here we have some quality conversations I can't have in daily life. Of course, not a problem. Well, that's the thing. When we're talking about sort of the future of humanity and what's the right thing to do, or what's the truth in a given situation, or what's the moral or other ontological implications of a given decision, choice, whatever, I used to take a their loss kind of stance on the issue of underutilization. Maybe I still do. I think it's fair to say that INTPs tend to be fairly apathetic about, fairly nihilistic, I guess I should say, that it wouldn't do any good anyway. That they don't have a lot of faith in their own agency, understandably with SE4. Ace K. Hey, Eric. Been a while. Heard about the breakup. You're doing okay and coping well. Much love. Thank you. I am doing okay. I'm coping well. Appreciate your concern. I'm doing fine. You know, I've got a lot of things up in the air. I've got a lot of people to take care of here. And at the same time, I've got to deal with, you know, my father, who I sort of have to take care of, and who I just sort of have to also, you know, listen to, respect in general, which is fine. You know, I've never had a problem falling back into the role of son, deferring to my dad, and showing him the respect he well deserves. So, you know, I'm comfortable in that role. It's a little odd. I'm not used to it, but I'm not used to not being the boss around someplace. You know, my dad's definitely the boss around here. I certainly wasn't the boss around my house in Laverne. I was trying to have things be democratic, but you know, you can lead a horse to water. The best workaround for SE Polar. The best workaround for SE Polar is very straightforward, Freddie Chandran. You need to apprentice yourself to, I guess for you, it would be an ENFP. Eat a round bone. Robert Collins. Hi, Eric. Hi, Robert Collins. How are you this evening? Sandy, NTPs have so much potential that it's frustrating. They need to be useful. And they need to be appreciated for their use. They need their usefulness to be Krishna Samapagu. What do you do? Is the video lagging for you? King Krishna Samapagu. Frozen and lagging. But can you hear me? Is it just a video that's fucked up? I'm asking you, King Krishna Samapagu. King Krishna Samapagu. I'm back. I was singing. King Krishna Samapagu. It's my new hit song. Can you hear me? King Krishna Samapagu. What do you do? King Krishna Samapagu. Can you hear what I say? Can you hear what I do? Is your name King Krishna Samapagu? Yes, it is your name. No, you weren't having an introvert party. I was extroverting here, but you guys just weren't hearing me. I just keep going, and when you're not, even after I leave the live stream, I sit here and sing to King Krishna Samapagu, of course. I say, Pagu, King Krishna Samapagu, what do you do? King Krishna Samapagu, is that your poo? On my shoe, King Krishna Samapagu, I need you to tell me what to do with your poo on my shoe. King Krishna Samapagu. Oh, King Krishna Samapagu. You have such a funny name. I like it a lot. I like your name. It's Freddie Chandran's name. You got a lot of syllables in that name, King Krishna Samapagu. Yeah, it's caterpillar time, King. Aren't you aware of that? What time is it, y'all? It's King Krishna Samapagu time. You're not listening, King Krishna Samapagu? Oh, you're going to have to watch the replay of this video, because there is a very special song for you. It's entitled Kang Kang Krishna Sarmapagu. Yeah, refresh the browser, Kang Kang Krishna Sarmapagu. For God's sakes, how many times are you going to force us to say Kang Kang Krishna Sarmapagu before you refresh the goddamn browser? Kang Kang Krishna Sarmapagu. All right, well, anyway. So you're considered intuitive and aware, Chicago, Los Angeles? You are? Congratulations. What do you intuit about this? What does that mean? What secret code was I giving you right there? Intuit it for me. Say it. Not my words. Often people say that to me. That you are intuitive and aware. So what do you, what do you think they mean when they say that? What do you believe they're referring to? A general quality of mindfulness, listening well, or maybe that you are aware of King Krishna Sarmapagu? Is that what you're intuiting? Just joined. Pod 420, I'm glad you joined finally. Hello, interview brother. Hello, Pod 420. Well, I have a friend in Las Vegas who's psychic, and she often uses the term intuitive. Well, psychics typically are intuitives. They're probably, ENFJs, maybe, something like that. People who can read other people very well are intuitives with extroverted feeling. People who can read sort of dynamic physical systems really well are intuitives with extroverted thinking. So maybe ENXPs for the INXPs and INXPs for the ENXPs. Yeah, I think that would be the ideal thing. The thing is, the E's have the SE in the 8th slot, but they're only going to be motivated at it if the other person needs it from them and they're getting what they want in return for it. So it's like, I need to get FET, I need to get interface shit out of it, FETE stuff. FE satisfaction, TE results. And ENFP would need to get TE, I guess, basically the same thing, FETE. So maybe you're right, it would work the same here. So let's see. Mediocre TE and mediocre FE, but spectacular FI. Kind of FI you can really sink your teeth into. I want to be on a spectrum. Any suggestions? That's an excellent question. And that's a common thing I hear a lot. Today, people are trying to realize how important it is to be on some kind of a spectrum. So, obviously, Syngen is way too cool to go with the boring old autism spectrum. That's everybody doing that, done that, been there, done that, right? That is not going to fly for Syngen. Syngen needs something a lot more sexy than autism spectrum. I would say that you're in the oppositional spectrum. You're in the oppositional spectrum. I don't know if you caught, Syngen, my extraordinarily insightful and wise words on social dynamics of groups and that alpha, beta, gamma, min role things. My position on it is basically people are either alpha or whatever in a group of men that's actively dynamically interacting, or their beta, or their opposition. Opposition being the other, like, what's the word? It's like somebody of equal strength, but not in the alpha position. And I think in this, it's like INFJs much prefer to be opposition. ENTPs do too. How would you deal with an INTP boss? They're literally a supervisor type. Well, do ENTPs have harder times making friends later on in life? Depends what you mean by friends. Pod 420. Obviously, I mean, I didn't really have, my friends were dwindling until I started this channel, and now I have lots of friends. Why I went out and found them, basically. I said, I'm gonna keep trying to open this meeting room and try to get people to come join me and let me interview them. And there were a lot of times when I had to sit there for a long time and nobody would show up for hours. I sit there. But I didn't let it get me discouraged or anything, because sometimes people would show up, and increasingly they show up. And then, the channel was slowly growing. There's always encouraging things happening. So I didn't let myself get too discouraged or anything. And the way I was interacting, namely by actually talking to people by video conference and stuff, meant that I started making friends. I replaced all the people in my life with internet people. And they're my real friends now. And I mean, I've been with them in physical proximity plenty of times, lots of them. Spacey's from the channel, and he's my right-hand man. And how did I meet him? He showed up in the raw room. That whereby.com/TWFP1, whereby.com/TWFP2. That's where I met him. He really made me angry one time, I remember. Let's see. Bold of you to assume we are in the world that all love some rural SE. I've wished to write you, but have been showing up regrettably late of late. May I have your contact details? Send me an email if you like. My thought at length. horsemumbler1@gmail. Count as one. It's a smart horse mumbler there. He's wise on the ways of lots of things. Angantier, I'm on Neptune. Zandy, lol, I'm an anime. Christy, you can also ask who got up early to be here. Those are the Europeans. It's Freddie Chandran. I've observed a trend of feelers being more adept at recognizing the value of all types, while thinkers don't see the value of types that are vastly different from them. SCJ O'Connell. I think that's broadly true. I hope I'm not an example of it, but I probably am a little bit. Let's see, Chicago, Los Angeles. May I ask your profession? Well, sure, I'm a debate coach. Right now, I'm mostly I actually got to work at my debate coaching job on Sunday for the first time in a while. I'm largely taking care of my mom right now, as she's getting worse. I winnowed down to I've got this client that I work with a lot, and his sister, but other than that, I don't want to take on a bunch of responsibilities. I've got to be here with my dad helping. Debate coaching involves a lot of traveling. And, okay, Freddie Chandran, fine. I make some jokes, You're right, I guess. But I guess I was doing between really caring and just sort of paying a lip service. I don't really care. I don't evaluate people by their type. I just, no, I didn't say anything. About ESG. Political debates, what kind of debates? Well, I coach public forum debate, Lincoln Douglas debate, policy debate. They're all debate formats that are competed in high school, although I'm mostly actually a middle school coach. Although I can coach high school fine or college fine too, It's a competition flow debate. It's a sport, basically, where people argue about it. Well, it's like, an example resolution would be, what was one we had recently? Oh, it's like, well, universal basic income was one we argued. There was another one which was about I get this confused. It was about, what's it called? Some kind of visa. It's the kind of visa you get for being a special kind of tech worker that can get in as on that kind of special visa. H-1B visas. We debated H-1B visas, and they always have a resolution like resolved. The United States should end the practice of awarding H-1B visas. And then, if you get the AF, you have to construct a case that supports that. Depending on the type of debate, it depends on how the case is constructed. And if you're on the neg, then you have to negate that case. So the thing is, that's the general resolution. How you go about proving that resolution on the AF is going to vary. Everybody's going to have a different way of going about that. So as a neg, you have to be prepared to hit any kind of different AF you might hit on a given topic. And it's a great job for me. I mean, it's like I've had a really charmed life. I don't understand. I haven't recognized how charmed my life was until I started talking to a bunch of people and realizing there's a lot of misery in the world. There's a lot of fucked up shit happens to a lot of people in childhood and beyond. And people aren't necessarily very good to each other. And somehow the slabs have sheltered me till the right old age I am, such that I could learn about all this reality without experiencing too much of it. I don't know, it's complicated. I'm getting really tired. I have to go to sleep pretty soon. Look, Pod 420, be careful with that. Okay? That what you say that debates my favorite should be more taboo and untouchable, so the topic about it. Be careful with that. There's some topics that I love to debate that are controversial and safe. There are some topics that are controversial you do not want to debate. You don't want to take in certain sides on it. And it doesn't matter how much HPs may say, everything can be reduced to just a hypothetical for the sake of argument kind of a thing. But, there are some really topics that, the social consequences of arguing that side are too great. You don't believe in it anyway. You're just being provocative. So what I would say is, here's a great topic for you, Pod 420. Great arguments to win. You can easily win arguments about McDonald's being healthy. And the people are insane to think that McDonald's is unhealthy, and there's absolutely no reason to whatsoever. People go, are you insane? But then they can't win the argument because there's no reason to think it is unhealthy. But everybody seems to think it's more unhealthy than like regular food you make at home or something. Even though it's not. See? Why not, Freddie Chandran? What's unhealthy about it? Watch Pod 420. What's unhealthy about it, Freddie Chandran? Is it the beef, the bread, the lettuce, the pickles? Nobody has any idea why they think McDonald's is unhealthy. They just think it for no reason. Okay, so is Freddie Chandler, are you really saying McDonald's is unhealthy, or are you saying bread is unhealthy? Because lots of things have buns. Lots of places have buns. What makes you think McDonald's is more unhealthy than any place else? Chicago, Los Angeles says, I've talked personally with a significant number of famous people, wondered what that meant. Actually, Chicago, Los Angeles, you've talked personally with a significant number of celebrities. To be a famous person, you need to have been on Talking with Famous People. You are now a famous person, but most celebrities are not. They haven't been on my show, unfortunately. Thanks, Chicago, Los Angeles, for agreeing on the McD's thing. McDonald's says Freddie Chin, but it has to be unhealthy. I just know it is. Even the meat that's being used is awful. Okay, but what makes you think that processed meat or meat full of hormones is less healthy than unprocessed meat or meat that has no hormones? Why would you conclude the processing, which is done to make food safe to eat, makes it less healthy? And can you think of a single product that's more well tested and proven safe in the entire world than McDonald's? I can't. Was I angry with you? I don't even remember being angry with you. Joel and Nathan Henry. When was I angry with you? What did you do? McDonald's is a clown, not a cook. It literally says the joke's on you. McDonald's is cheap, and it has calories, and it fills up my belly, and makes my food headache go away. What more do you need? I can get 2 McDoubles for $3, plus a large Coke for $1. That's fucking nutritious plus delicious. Plus, who cares about delicious? Because plus, you're full. You don't have to eat anymore. Hamburger, great guy. Great guy. You know, the thing about it is, if you're gonna burgle hams, why wear the striped jail outfit? You know? You're kind of like you're kind of revealing that's what you are. I don't know. I was referring to what one would need to do in order to make McDonald's somewhat healthy. What would you need to do? Eat it? That's all you need to do to make it healthy. I have bread poisoning again? Wow. My own eye is telling me McDonald's is the shit. I can get lunch and a delicious Coke for $5 or less. It doesn't. Nobody knows why it's not healthy. Nobody has any good answers to that question. They just assume it is for no reason. Because somehow that little, they think it's too processed or whatever. Look, there's this population of people who seem to believe that if I really want to eat healthy, I need to go outside and pick up some twigs off the road and some rocks and some little pebbles. I just eat that because it's so raw and so natural and real. And that's how you know that something's healthy. It's raw and natural and real. No, the way you know something's healthy is because you eat it, it makes you full, doesn't make you sick. Then it's successfully food. That's all it requires. Well, of course McDonald's isn't vegetarian friendly. I didn't say McDonald's was not I didn't say McDonald's was a vegetarian restaurant. I said McDonald's was not unhealthy. Okay, why are you chucking the bun? Why are you throwing away all my bread, Sreddy Chandran? Will you leave my bread alone? Hey, Sreddy, leave my bread alone. All in all, you're just a bread stealing Sreddy Chandran. Hey, look, what do you think make those burgers taste so delicious? It is the salty, gamey flavor of hormones. Listen, Sreddy Chandran, I'm gonna go over there to India. I'm gonna get a syringe. I'm gonna pull out a little bit of testosterone from my body. I'm gonna fry that shit up for you. You're gonna taste it, and you are going to be a believer. Okay? There's nothing more delicious than hormones. Whether it's in ground meat, ground vegetables, whatever. Goodbye. Oh, thanks, Chicago, Los Angeles, for subbing. I appreciate it. Have a pleasant evening. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. No, your FI isn't motivated. It's not because your SE sucks. I'd love to chat more about this. CJ O'Connell. Black ruffle. That's gross, Eric. Peter Dennis notes, it is currently night. And I, Peter Dennis, am the one who's responsible to alert everybody as to which portion of the daytime is it. Is it dawn? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it noon? Is it dusk? Is it evening? Is it night? Is it late night? Is it early morning? Is it early morning? Or is it again dusk? I mean dawn. I, Peter Dentis, stand upon my rooftop in the various boundaries of the sections of the day and say, afternoon. Like that. That's your job, Peter. How's your job treating you? As town crier, as town time of day crier. Moose. That's gross. That's not hormones. That's man seed. I believe that KFC does have superior fries in McDonald's. You notice I have not waxed poetic about their fries. I've talked about their large Coke for $1. I've talked about their McDoubles. I even like the Big Mac and Quarter Pounder sandwiches, but I am not a huge fan of McDonald's fries, although they're fine. You know who's got great fries is Farmer Boys. Have you ever been to Farmer Boys? I don't know. Maybe they only have them out here in Los Angeles. I'm not sure. Farmer Boys has the best fucking fries. They're the best. You go like, yo, Farmer Boys, you killed it with these fries. Again, I'm really impressed with them. All right, this one I'm going to transubstantiate for you, Pod 420. This bong rip is being transubstantiated by my torch and this bong through my lungs by my metaphysical powers into Pod 420's brain. You're welcome, Pod 420. I tried to magic deep. You taste the sour diesel. Got that kind of petrol-y quality to it. I can't taste it, of course. I've transubstantiated it over to you, Pod 420. Right on the nose, Freddie Chandran. I agree with you 1,000,000% about that. Well, that's very sativa-esque of you. I actually don't know, to be perfectly honest, if the nug I just smoked was sour diesel or not, because even though this was a bottle of sour D, I split it up. Like I took the nugs one, like the top shelf nugs, which are little nugs, mixtures of different weeds, right? And the sour D, and I put half in one bottle. I split them so each of me and Spacey got half of the nugs and half of the D, and half of the nugs, half of the D, right? So, yeah, it's a good business high. Charisma says I'm his favorite pot channel. I didn't know it was a pot channel. I appreciate that. Much delicious than KFC or any food chain, says Ken Krishna Sarma Pagoo. Really? Not as delicious as Food Cube, though. Yes, they are, said Chris D. Stacey and Tori are Kim's house, and there will be peace in our time. I'm determined that this breakup be demonstrative of how breakups ought to be, and that everybody be reasonable and everybody be kind and forgiving, and recognize that there's a lot of frailty and despair even in human existence, and we ought to care about each other. My Bo Smith always loved to smoke weed. I wish I could spend his birthday with him and wish him a happy birthday as he suffers in his hospital bed. You're awesome, man. Thanks for the train. You're welcome. I don't know who my Bo Smith is, but I'm sorry to hear about his suffering. I wish he or she did not. I'm burdened by suffering in the world. The longer I do this whole thing, the more comfortable I get and more realized I get in this role that I have, where people look to me for some answers or reassurance or, repair from the damage that other people have done to them with their bullshit narratives. And, recognizing that it's by far the most important thing I do. And so, I don't know. It's complicated. Hi, Michael Blowers. Hope I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. This channel makes me happy. Not looking for anything other than time. Not looking for anything other than time. I'm glad that it makes you happy. It makes me happy too. You guys being here makes me happy. Being able to talk to people and live chat and respond to what they're saying and, generally try to ha-cha-cha-cha and talk shit out there and talk out, pull bong rips. Joel Nathan Henry says, Eric, funny question, but what type do you think the new Joker movie is? I haven't seen the trailer or even heard of it before. I didn't know there was a new one coming out. And I actually am interested in, well, maybe not. Is Batman stuff, that's like DC Comics, right? Any impulsiveness is pretty hedonistic ideationally involved. Am I hedonistic ideationally? That's DC, yeah. So I've recently gotten into those MCU movies. Really liked them. It does make me want to watch, maybe give DC another chance, Thanks for this. Yeah, that's where I'm trying to feel about it at this point. I have a totally different experience, so it's so strange. I don't even want to go look. I'm not interested. It seems boring. It seems stupid, and I need some other modality. Joaquin Phoenix, huh? Interesting. I've seen him in person before. Well, last time I was on OkCupid, I thought it was a little bit better than it is right now. I don't know. Right now, it's just got this faint scent of despair about it. You know? What's the trailer? What surprise you got? Okay, I will. I'll try to do so. I mean, I got together with Kimberly from OkCupid, and I felt like that was great. She seemed like the perfect match when I first got with her. There's so many different demographic things in common, but yeah, it didn't work out. I actually find it annoying that there are so many INTJs on OkCupid. I don't find very many people put their type down at all or reference it at all. I find that, like maybe a little frustrating or something. But I haven't seen, maybe that's just dudes, Countess. I don't know. I haven't seen many INTJ chicks on OkCupid. Typically, chicks don't put their personality type down at all. Yeah, I'll talk to her again, maybe after this if she's up or something. Um, it's just the thing is, I kind of realized talking to her that I actually don't think I can be with an IHP woman because I just need more. I need some. I need nurturing. That yeah. I don't know. I need some coddling. I guess yeah. Well, IHP women are. It's not as incestuous as like Becky. That felt super incestuous to me. There's just zero attraction between me and other ENPs. Whether they're you know I can't. I'm just not attracted to ENP women, no matter what they look like. Doesn't matter if they're smoking hot because we just occupy the same niche. And it's like each of us is waiting for the other one to leave the room so that he or she can take on the role of the ENTP. It just doesn't, there's nothing man about that. Okay, comic book cowboy, 1911. There's so much legwork here on this thing. Remember, these heads ups and everything and such go in one ear and out the other. So just at some point, I'll receive a text and I'll go, oh, yeah, that dude. Okay. All this planning you're doing and stuff is totally unnecessary. All the FE shit and whatever else you just shoot me a text and be like, hey, I'm this person and let's meet you. I did not think you blew me off. I was not, didn't think about it. For me, living with sensor is I've got so much shit going on right now. It's insane. I've got so many balls in the air that I'm trying to deal with. What with like making peace between, um, the Palestinians, uh, Troy and Spacey and Israel, which is Kimberly over there, and then make a peace between Tori's parents and Tori, and getting my dad anticipating and then not and knowing I'm not going to be able to really do anything about it, but trying to use words to frame it out anyway. Anticipating my dad's sort of like the beginning of my time here is going to be a little stressful because I've got this typology blitz coming up, and so not Spacey here, and he's going to be like, rah. I had to sort of explain everything to him. We're not just going to be. I don't know. It's a little stressful being at my parents' house and suddenly being under my parents' roof again. It's a little odd, but regardless, I got a lot of shit up in the air, and so I Casey and Tori and I managed to get a lot of stuff done while my dad was out of town, and that's good. And then Bruce Moose, you're quite a challenging take on the challenge. You throw down the gauntlet of challenge for her. Huh? I don't think she needs her own ESFJ. You know, she needs an ESFJ. That's the problem. IHPs and EHPs, they both have this baby quality, and I'm a pretty good nurturer, but we both want to be nurtured in my area. I need to find some INTJs in your area. You need to find some ISFJs. That's what you need to find. And they're not that difficult to find. To conquer the world, of course. Oh, well, that's a good reason to find some, I guess. Peter Dennis, are you one of the INTJs in the chat room? You've always had fun with them? Hmm. You gonna still be in Laverne in a month or two? No, I'm here now. This is my new home. I now live here. I'll have Spacey and Tori out of there by the 15th. I'm in Arcadia. Arcadia, California. I want to conquer the world, give all the idiots a brand new religion. Which one do you want to give them? I know. Let's give them Christianity. HD. I'm not sure what HD means. I live part-time in LA on this live stream. Yeah. Ugh, no. Salem, Oregon, ugh, no. For an EHP, it's okay to call 2 hours before Calm Cowboy. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Preferable, in fact. Like, I always say, well, just as soon as you're ready to do something, just call me in. If I'm ready, then great. It's supposed to be a face. Oh, I see. Is it big eye monkey mouth? Big eye monkey mouth face. Well, thanks, I think. Lol, Peter Dennis. Lol to you, says somebody. Chris says Chris to you, Peter Dennis. Your birth name was Pod 420? Wow, what hipster parents you had. Did he's like a little pod of marijuana at birth. I can just tell he's gonna be a big stoner. He's got that. Anybody got any weed? Look about him. Right out the womb. They're digging around the nurse's pockets. Turns out she had a couple joints in there. Put those back, little baby, she said. If it's a big thing in an emergency, an HP could pop in without calling and knocking you the hide key. Yeah. For sure. I mean, look, I love all of a sudden things happening. Like, I'm sitting here, not really doing anything sometime, and somebody goes, hey, I want to meet up with you at right now and ask you some questions. Well, that sounds maybe interesting. I don't do anything. Okay, let's go. But if you're like, I'm wishy-washy and I want to schedule, it's like, okay, this is too much work just to even meet you. Military service makes you do some crazy shit. I have a 6-inch gash from my left arm, partially disabled now. I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Right. It's like, let's, suggest something that seems interesting or fun to me. And I say it's happening, right now. And there's a very decent chance that my schedule is pretty flexible, that I'll be able to just get up and go do it. And similarly, if you say, here's this thing later on, I don't want to have to reschedule something else for anything. So it's going to be the same then. It's going to either be, yeah, I'm not doing anything, or I am doing something. So ask me then. See what I'm saying? Doesn't that make sense? Makes a lot of sense. Chronic the Hedgehog. So, do you think ENTPs and INFJs get along famously? How about INFJs and ESTPs? One of my best friends happens to be an ESTP, so he tested, and I love the guy, but sometimes he gets on my nerves. Well, ESTPs and INFJs are, in fact, duals. They should get along swimmingly enough, but duality alone is not sufficient to make for a good relationship. You need more than just duality. You need the same attachment style, at least, and it helps to have similar levels of optimization. Like, you want both parties to be in similar places on their respective growth arcs. Like, I hate how he starts a bunch of shit but never finishes anything. I mean, ESTPs and ENTPs both do a certain amount of that, but ESTPs finish the important things. ESTP are wild, says Angantir. Wild like a racehorse, pumped full of racehorse excitement hormones. Hooves pounding. I need to smoke this cigarette, so I'm going to take this right here. I can't see what you guys are saying or read your chats, or, you probably can't see me that well either at the moment. But I tell you what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to make it really easy for you to hear. And I want you to know this is an extremely sultry prize for you. My voice, my way of talking, my piercing eyes, my loving smile, my eager virtue, my virgin folds. You're enjoying all of those things all the time, every day. Yes, you're home here at Talking with Famous People. My name's host Eric. Won't you join us for the moist adventure to damp town you'll ever enjoy? Today we're traveling sea otters. It'll be fun. As you can see, I've resolved to not smoke cigarettes in here. I don't want to smoke cigarettes in here. I'm living in here and gonna make the house stink like cigarettes. But I have no problem smoking bong rips inside because they just make the room smell like weed, and that's fine. And it doesn't even stink like weed that long. It just sort of dissipates. It just gives it a general weed-esque I guess you'd say a bit of marijuana flair, or perhaps that's kind of like burning sage drives out the evil spirits in the room, if there were any. Not that there ever were any in this house. This house is evil spirit free. It's been a calm and peaceful place for the entirety of my life. Calm, peaceful, loving, not necessarily always easy. My dad's a bit of a hard ass, but it's like, okay, I'm back where everybody acts normal. Everybody acts sane. It's quiet and people are bothering you all the time, and there's whatever you need, it's like it's just right at your hands, basically. It's like everything's easy, everything makes sense the way it's placed, and things are orderly, and mean, I can't even, I haven't even begun to process this returning home thing. It's quite a shock to the ontology. Obviously, there's some small constraints to liberty implicit in this, in the sense that it's not my house, so I'm not in charge around here or whatever. But there's not ever any conflict, you know? I just have to, he's gonna have to get used to things not being always exactly like as he left it, kind of thing. It's unfamiliar to him in a way. But, you know, I just feel loved and cared for. And, you know, it's what everybody really needs. I also feel like I'm fulfilling a destiny long ordained. And my parents were always there for me. And when I was a little kid, they loved me so much and everything. And it's significant and that I have this opportunity to repay that by taking care of them in their old age. And I've enjoyed the opportunity to repay that debt with my mom and doing things that aren't necessarily the most fun in the world, like you know, changing her diaper and stuff. It's not necessarily pleasant, but I don't feel anything but a sense of overall satisfaction and gratification at having the opportunity to do that. Now let's see what's been going on while I was outside. What type would you say that making intuition something that can be introverted or extroverted is overcomplicating things and wants to just call it gut feeling? Somebody who's talking about introverted intuition and doesn't understand extroverted intuition? Probably ISTP or ISFP, maybe? ICP, probably. They're going to be adversarial like that. Oh, Peter Dennis agrees. Good call, Peter. You and I are in agreement. Whereas most of those, I want it all in if you think they're NE can do NI. And thinks their FI can do the TI. Now, Chris D agrees as well. Yeah, we're all in agreement. Singen's not. Singen says TI polar complaining. Steve, whichever you prefer. When I try to explain functions, especially intuition, my ISTP here is like, what is the point of this BS? I was just replying to the question, why 1911? It's in your nickname after all. Yes, why 1911? Oh, it's a handgun. I thought you were going to say it's your favorite year. Why is 1911 your favorite year? Friend Solo, oh man, how could the day get any worse? Now my friend Fish found out he's got to get his first colonoscopy. Assume that somebody named Fish? You're not talking about a fish, are you? Sorry to hear that. Oh dang, I accidentally bought dairy-free ice cream and was cursing at myself. Turns out it's delicious. Don't be fooled though. It would have been more delicious if you'd gotten dairy-inclusive ice cream. Cool, but I'll keep thinking you're 108 years old anyway. Yeah, I'm going with Sinjin's interpretation. That is funny. I had to. I didn't get it at first because I'm a little slow like that, I guess, tonight. I had to look up and figure it out for a second. You could have an ugly ice cream diet if it was ugly. You only eat ugly ice cream? ISFP could only also be a good guess, I guess. I definitely CFI. What's that? A diet you have because ice cream is dairy free and not yummy. Ugly is probably wrong because it is, Chris. I've never heard anybody in my life refer to ice cream as ugly before. Any variety of ice cream. The M1911 is a nearly perfect vegetable. Well, I'm a gun owner, and I used to hand load 45 ammunition. Thanks to this Buckeye State of California, my primary shooting spot of the band. California is not very gun friendly. Um, that's true. I support your gun rights. Come on, cowboy. When I'm president, I'm going to change the conversation about guns. I've been staying up way too late, but at least I'm catching these live streams, says Christina Bowman. Disgusting, Christy, or gross, or ew. Oh, I don't hate California. Look, there's a lot of bullshit about California, but there's a lot of good things about California too. If you don't get too caught up in the political image of California and realize that it's a mishmash of different sort of policies. Some of them work out okay, and some of them not so well. California has a lot to offer as a state. It's got some satisfying aspects to it, you know. A lot of things that are cool about Los Angeles, you know, mountains, ocean. I don't know. No place is perfect. What I'd like to do is basically become president and change the way we talk about everything and fix America and everything like that. Yeah, I get that, comical cowboy. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of regulation, probably too much regulation. It's unfortunate. Christy, unappealing, insipid, disgusting, vile, vomit-inducing. So there's a hurricane coming at me right now. You should get out of the way. Actually, just run straight at it and try to run really fast from the edge of it into the eye of the hurricane. That's where it's going to be nice and calm, and then walk along with the eye all the way. What time is it here? It's almost midnight. I'm exhausted because I haven't been sleeping much lately, and just because of all the intensity of everything, trying to get everything freaking wrapped up. I gotta say, I am really feeling pretty positive about my efforts with all of this stuff here that's been going on. You know, it's like that phone call from Tori's parents was trippy, and I still haven't even had a chance to process it. But the thing that was trippy about it is her dad called and it's like right at the gate, like effusive in his praise of me, which was nice and everything, and I like that sort of thing. And it's just not what one would expect in that situation. So I don't know what to make of that. Well, I do know what to make of it. What I'm saying is it works. It's like we don't have to be adversaries. And I spent 2.5 years with Kimberly to learn that sometimes that's not true. That sometimes you cannot make somebody non-adversarial, or I was unable to, or we weren't able to be non-adversarial, or whatever. I don't want to blame her at all, but I also learned the pointlessness of adversarialness. Tracy's girlfriend's name is Tori, and she basically, she's a 20-year-old girl who was with her parents back from her first year of college, and then just up and disappeared, giving them no indication where she'd gone, and came down here and now going out with Spacey and is basically dependent on me, which is on Spacey, but Spacey's dependent on me. And now Spacey's earning, he's not really, he's sort of dependent on me. He's earning plenty of what he's getting from me, but at the moment, he's certainly costing me more than he's earning. But as a long-term investment, it makes perfectly good sense. And so that's fine. She's dependent on Spacey, and we're operating as a team of sorts, family even, for temporarily until they get their own pad anyway. So you can imagine if your daughter runs off and starts living with some 27-year-old in Los Angeles, having flown away to without any announcement or anything. You'd imagine that person would be like, the parents are not going to think much of the people that their daughter ends up with, right? They're going to be like, oh my God, she's ended up with these scumbags who are whatever, exploiting her or something. But instead, because her parents hired a private detective to find her, and they found her and pointed the parents to the channel. Apparently, that's the thing, is the parents started watching the channel and decide she's 20 years old. She's past the age of majority. 18 is. I guess that's what they conclude. They watched the channel and they concluded that they liked me, or that they thought she was in good hands or something. I don't know. It was weird where they came. I mean, of course they could have just called me and talked to me, but they paid me for a session to talk to me, and I said, okay. Odd, unexpected. And after talking to me and everything, the conversation went fine. It was just like, they wanted to talk to her. She doesn't really want to talk to them. They've got their spats or whatever. I don't even want to get into any of that shit. It's irrelevant. It's just, she's 20 years old, and her parents and her have their own thing going on or whatever. No, they weren't like how we talked to famous people. The dad referenced some of my recent videos about relationships and how to end them and whether to end them and stuff like that. Hi, Sue. Did I have the parents? No, I didn't tell the parents. It was a very emotional conversation on their end. You know, they were very distraught about their daughter's disappearance, understandably. And of course, I didn't know any of this shit. Like, I didn't know that I knew that she had had left there with in some sort of, there was some story of being, there's some shit going, whatever. It doesn't matter to me whatever the backstory is. I knew that she left there in a way that was not normal in some regard, but we told basically she can't come, and she did anyway. So the thing is, 20XX fish. That's what I was not going to allow to have happen. And so when the parents called, and Tori didn't want to talk to them, I explained that that it's important to me that Tori do talk to them, and so we're not going to force her into talking to you right now or anything like that. And she's going to listen. She's going to listen right now, and you can say things to her if she don't want to talk to you. But and then Spacey, I just let Spacey handle it for a while, and I heard him saying, "Well, I don't know when. I can give you a time frame. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a year. Who knows?" And I said, "No. Come here, Spacey. Give me the phone a second. I will put pressure here to make sure that they talk to you. She talks to you a lot sooner than that. We're not. I will give you some sort of time frame, at least to say that that if it doesn't happen in a week or two, I will express disappointment to them, and I think that they, I don't know, they'll respect my input on this matter or something." And so, and then later that day, Spacey came and told me that she said she talked to him this weekend. So it's like, one thing I made clear to them on the phone was I was not okay in any way, shape, or form with them having an estranged relationship with their daughter. So I was not going to allow her to simply excommunicate them roughly like that, especially after talking to them for quite some time and hearing the genuine, yeah, hey, Susie, I'm not talking about that end of shit. I never have, okay? I don't know what happened before she came here. And what I told Spacey is we need to absolve her of whatever shady or questionable mias she may have engaged in. I don't know if she did or not. And I'm not saying she did or nothing. I'm saying I don't want to even address that shit because that's not productive. The girl deserves a blank slate and a clean slate. Regardless, I can't determine the actuality of things in the past. I have spoken to the parents, and I can tell you they are authentically very concerned about their daughter. Okay, well, I'm just saying. So, if Spacey wants to stay with Tori, then he should invite her to his apartment. Spacey and Tori are getting an apartment together coming up soon. They are. It'll work out fine. They're gonna be fine. They seem like a fine enough couple. Regardless, 20XX fish. That's exactly the sort of thing I was not going to allow to have happen at all. Is that there's legitimate complaints, then from either party, then those things can be worked out by conversation. And if we got to mediate that, that's fine. I have been trained in communicating with somebody with whom it was shockingly difficult to communicate. And so all the shit that's been going down prior to this move to my parents' house, all happened for some various reasons. And it's like the universe is training me clearly for something. And I'm going to have to do it, whatever it is. I'm just not exactly sure. I think he's being president. But it could be something else. I'm not entirely sure. I can't be because Only the Slavs know what the Slavs know, and those who aren't the Slavs don't know what the Slavs know, because they aren't the Slavs. You see what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. It's like when a movie is close to its climactic scene and you're waiting to see what it is. Something is twisted somewhere. I can't tell exactly. Well, I have some thoughts. Look, your instincts aren't maybe entirely off, I guess, but it's I don't want to go any. I don't want to talk about the specifics of their past at all. That doesn't mean it's not being addressed at all. It means I certainly don't want to talk about it publicly, and that's simply because, like I keep telling Spacey, it's irrelevant. I'm not telling him this because he needs to hear it, and I'm just talking to him because he's here. It's irrelevant because we need to formally absolve her of whatever went on beforehand, and yeah, I'm in a weird spot. But what I'm doing is bridging gaps. It's like people are wanting to devolve into conflict and adversarialness, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep people at the table and make productive movement forward. There will always be like maybe have to get gotten to, but if you try to push fast to them and you don't let the process happen on its own or as it's naturally going to, then yeah, there's a limited capacity to substantiate anything like that, and which lends me to naturally worry that it's not okay to spread unsubstantiated shit, um, and we got respect that obligation to substantiate if you're gonna make some sort of claims. In this instance, maybe a little muddier than that, but we'll just let it, basically let me frame it, everybody, and let it move forward, and let's see how it plays out. I got my eye on everyone and everything. Kimberly always said, "You don't miss a beat, Eric. For shit that matters, I don't miss a beat." I'm aware of, like, well, Spacey's pretty good actually at hiding um, stuff, but he's also internalizing my general moralism, and I think that's causing him to be somewhat more proactively honest, perhaps. No, by the way, everyone, I keep hearing about the raw rooms. What are those? The raw rooms are, here, I'll put it here. It's called, what's it called again? The new one? The new name? Whereby. Whereby.com/TWFP1 and whereby.com/TWFP2. In fact, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna end this live stream now and probably go into one of those, probably two or one, I don't know, one or two. and because I want to smoke, and I'm limited in the extent to which I can come in and go when I'm sitting here on a live stream, because I can't just walk away and let other people chat amongst themselves because it's being broadcasted. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Maybe I'll see you in one of those rooms in a minute if you feel like it. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And if you do, eat twice as much tomorrow.